everyone, welcome. Today we're going to do a tutorial on how to add hair to your plushies. So we're going to start with needing a scissor and then a brush to comb out your yarn. This is a pet brush I bought from the dollar store. It works. It's not my favorite, but I will put a link below on a type of brush that I recommend. And then you need your yarn. The worsted yarn is the one that I've used. I haven't used any other ones, so I can't recommend others. So first you're going to start by getting a piece of the yarn at the strand length that you want, but technically you're going to do double because you have to actually fold it in half for this to work. So whatever size you want, just make sure that you're cutting your yarn as double of that size. As you can see here, I wanted half of that size, so that's what I did. And then you're going to use your first strand to measure all the rest of them so that they're relatively close to the same size. Just don't struggle with your scissor the way I do. So what you want to do is make sure they're around the same size. They don't have to be perfect because you could always trim afterwards, but make sure that you have enough that you want. And make sure you cut enough strands to finish your plushie's hair. So you're going to grab your plushie. This is actually a prototype of Tamer that I made, so we're just going to use that. And then I recommend using a hook that is smaller than you used for your plushie. So for example, if you use the 7mm, which is what I did, then I'm using like 3.5. So you're going to take your first strand, you're going to fold it in half. You're going to grab your plushie, as I do here for prototype Tamer. You're going to insert your hook into one of the stitches. Sorry that it got a little blurry, but you know what I mean. So like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to grab your strand of yarn and you're going to hook it in the hook and pull through so that the loop is on the other side. Sorry, my dog just helped bump the table and shook my stand. So yeah, you're going to wiggle it through, pull it like so, and then you are going to make sure that you can put your fingers through the yarn and pull the other two strands through it. That way it secures onto your plushie and it won't go anywhere while you're combing it and all that jazz. So you're going to repeat this process with all the strands that you've made. I do recommend having 1 to 2 strands per stitch, depending on how full you want your hair. For Tamer, I did 1 per stitch. For Mackenzie, I actually did almost a variation between 1 to 3. If you don't know who I'm talking about, but Tamer Mackenzie, at the end of this video, I will show you these monsters. So you're going to see that I'm going to do it again. You're going to put your hook through the stitch, as you see here, and then put the strand right onto the hook so that it can pull through the stitch with no issues, like so. Again, put your fingers through the hole, put the other 2 stringers, my lord, I'm struggling today, 2 of the strings through the hole and tighten it. And we're going to repeat this process, like I said, over and over until you have your full set of hair that you're happy with. If you want to do your hair on your plushie as you watch this, you can pause it now and catch up. So your task right now is to put all your strands on your hair like the way you want and how you think looks great. And then our next step will be to brush it. And since we have some time, I will say that Tamer doesn't look like this anymore, but if you do want more info on Tamer Mackenzie, there will be pictures of them at the end of the video if you haven't purchased the pattern yet, and a link to them below. They are monsters that my daughter thought of and named, and I brought them to life. Alright, now that's all I'm doing for this tutorial, but my strands are put in, as you can see. Now, as you can tell, I did not measure them that well, and I did want it shorter than what it is now, so I did trim. No yarn is wasted. I do use it as stuffing. And then you're going to take your hook, or you can use a darning needle, and you're going to poke the ends so that it loosens up, and you're going to unravel the strand. This isn't a necessary step. However, I find that when you do this, it is so much easier and faster to brush your yarn. When I would do it just straight to brushing, I would spend like 4 or 5 times longer to do my hair, and it just was a pain in the you know where. So what you're going to do is, like, as you can see, is move the tips, unravel it. It may ravel back, but it's still pretty loose, so like don't be concerned of going completely separated. As long as you pull and it goes all the way down, then you're pretty raveled enough. So you're going to do this to every strand that you have put on your doll's hair. Yes, it's time consuming. Yes, it can be tedious, but it's such a fun result at the end. I promise you, it is worth it. I will say, warning, shorter hair obviously is easier than longer hair. If you do longer hair, you really want to separate them and you really want to brush it out. I know that Tamer took me like a quarter of the time that Mackenzie did for me, and I was debating my life choices when I did Mackenzie. So as you can see, I'm doing all the strands, and then I will show you the brushing as the next step. If you want to, you can pause the video now to catch up, do all your strands, and we'll meet right now. As you can see, my Tamer's hair is mostly unraveled. There are still some that did re-ravel, but you could tell they're very loose, so they'll still be good to brush. I use the wider bristles first with this brush, and I go in different directions and I brush as much as I can. As you can tell, it's starting to unravel more, and you do see that I'm going in different directions, and I'm moving my plushie as well. This way the bristles on the brush can have more chance to get into the yarn and separate them. If you can see right here, it's starting to work, but it does take a bit of time, and you just want to continue to brush until you get to the desire of fluff, as you can say, that you want for the hair. If you would like, you can pause the video now and do some brushing and then come back. But as you can see, I did flip the brush, and it's because that kind of helped get it more fluffy. If you have any issues that you see certain spots are really not unraveling, you can do what I'm doing here, which is go back with my hook or my darning needle and separate those strands to help with the brushing. And then you want to like split the hair in pieces like I did in one part. I'm sorry, it's going a little fast. And you want to keep brushing in different directions because that gives a chance for the yarn to go through the different bristles to get really worked on with the brush. And as you saw, there were several times I went back with the hook to separate the yarn. Do that as much as you need. As you can see, I am almost done. It is super, super fluffy. And you just keep going at it. I know you do have to have patience for it until you're satisfied with how it looks. And as you can see here, I am pretty satisfied with it. However, you can see there's a lot of strands because of the pulling from the brush. So I'm just giving it a little bit of a trim here so it's a little bit more cohesive and close to the same height. And then so that it doesn't look so sharply cut that way, I will actually run the hair or yarn through the brush a couple more times just to pull a little bit more strands so it still looks like a good size, but it looks a bit more natural, in lack of better words, in the sense of it's not like snipped right off. So that's what I'm doing now, and it is finished. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it helps you because I can't wait to see your plushies with them. And thank you for watching. If you do wait a couple more seconds, I'm actually going to show you some pictures of Tamer Mackenzie as I promised. So here they are. This is Tamer, this is Mackenzie. They come with the controller, headphones, and Mackenzie comes to scrunchies. Thanks for watching. Bye!